It is good to have you here today. We have a lot to get through, and frankly, some of it might surprise you. Today, we are looking at why Britain is suddenly acting like a financial island in a very turbulent sea, outperforming the giants across the English Channel. We will dive into the real numbers behind the UK's lead over France and Germany, and why the old manufacturing models are failing, while services are keeping the lights on. Then, we are going to look at the massive tax shifts coming our way and how the City of London is trying to outmaneuver the rest of the world. But stay with me, because at the very end, I have a story about a massive government U-turn on technology that is going to change how we think about the future of work and creativity in this country. Before we get into the meat of it, I want to ask for a small favor. If you value this kind of deep dive, the kind of research that looks past the surface to find the truth, please like this video and subscribe. We spend hours, sometimes days, fact-checking and digging through dry reports, so you don't have to. It is hard work to avoid the noise of fake news and clickbait. If you feel like we are providing value, consider sponsoring the channel or using the Super Thanks feature. It truly helps us stay independent. And really, make sure you stick around, because the most interesting shift in government policy is something we saved for the final few minutes of the episode. So let's look at the map. In 2025, the UK is showing this strange, almost stubborn resilience. While continental Europe seems to be stuck in a bit of a rut, Britain is emerging as a kind of financial island. It is a bit ironic, isn't it, considering everything we have heard over the last few years. The data from the Centre for Economics and Business Research is telling a story of a long game. They are saying that by 2039, the British economy will still be the sixth largest in the world. We are projected to pull ahead of France and significantly close that gap with Germany, shrinking it from 31% down to just 20%. Even the Office for National Statistics had to revise their numbers, showing that since the pandemic, our economy grew by 1.8%. That might sound small, but when you look at France at 1.7 and Germany struggling at a mere 0.2, you realize something fundamental is shifting. Why is this happening? Well, it comes down to what we actually do for a living. Germany is hurting because their industry makes up 18% of their economy. They relied on cheap energy that just isn't there anymore, and global demand for their goods has taken a hit. In the UK, industry is only about 9%. We are a services nation, and that has made us less vulnerable to the energy shocks and the falling demand for heavy machinery. It is a bit of a shield, though I wonder if we are becoming too reliant on it. The IMF and OECD are cautiously optimistic, pointing to falling inflation and the hope that interest rates will start to ease up. But you have to ask yourself, is this stability, or are we just the best house in a bad neighborhood? Just wait until you see the price we are about to pay for this relative calm. Now, I don't want to paint too rosy a picture, because there is a heavy cloud on the horizon. The Bank of England is waving a bit of a red flag, warning that inflation could spike back up to around 3.7% by the third quarter of 2025. It is the basics that are going up: energy, water rates, things we can't really avoid. Back in August, the Monetary Committee lowered the base rate to 4%, but it was a close call, a 5-4 vote. They are trying to support the economy, but they are worried that wages are staying high and service costs aren't coming down. It is a delicate balancing act, like walking a tightrope in high winds. And then there is the budget. The Labour government is looking at a massive tax hike. We are talking 26 billion to 30 billion every single year by the end of the decade. They are freezing income tax thresholds, which means as your wages go up to keep pace with inflation, you end up paying more tax anyway. It is a silent squeeze. They are also looking at properties worth over 2 million, dividends, and even pensions. If you are wondering why this matters to the average person, just think about the ripple effect on investment. But here is where things get even more intriguing. While the taxman is knocking on the door, London is repositioning itself as the brain of the global financial system. I was looking at the recent Global Banking Summit held by the Financial Times. It was a gathering of the heavy hitters: Barclays, NatWest, all the big names. They aren't just talking about local issues. They are obsessed with how the Trump administration's tariffs and a potential new trade war will shake things up. They are looking at the conflicts in Ukraine and the Middle East and the cooling relationship between the US and China. They are trying to figure out how to stay profitable when the world is fragmenting. It's a bit of a chess game, and London wants to be the board everyone plays on. Chancellor Rachel Reeves put out a 10-year plan, the Leeds reforms. It is a laser-focused attempt to make the UK the first choice for financial firms. It's not just about managing risk anymore. It's about growth. They want to unlock retail investments and make this the most innovative financial center in the world. Even after Brexit, London still dominates in currency trading and international banking. Sure, we lost some of the euro swap business to the continent, but we are still the heavyweights. But is a fancy reform package enough to keep the talent here when taxes are rising? That is the question no one seems to want to answer quite yet. If you are finding this breakdown useful, please do take a second to hit that subscribe button. It makes a world of difference for us. Now let's talk about the big pivot, the one I mentioned at the start. For a while, the UK was shouting from the rooftops that we would be an AI superpower. We were going to lead the world in regulation and safety, but recently things have gone remarkably quiet. That AI regulation bill that was floating around the House of Lords, it's effectively dead in its current form. The government has taken a very light touch approach. They are prioritizing economic growth over those protective guardrails they used to talk about so much. It seems they are more interested in the tech prosperity deal with the US, bringing in billions from Microsoft, Nvidia, and OpenAI. This is a massive shift. In December 2025, the government officially walked away from creating a code of practice for AI and copyright. They basically admitted they couldn't get the tech companies and the creative industries to agree on anything, so they just stopped trying. It's a bit of a surrender, honestly. The creative industry is furious. They feel their work is being used to train these models without any compensation. The Science and Technology Committee is calling it a failure of duty, but the government seems to think that if they regulate too hard, the tech giants will just leave and take the jobs with them. It's a gamble, putting innovation before the rights of creators. So, where does that leave us? We have an economy that is outgrowing Europe but facing a massive tax bill. We have a financial center that is trying to reinvent itself in a world of trade wars. And we have a government that is backing off from regulating the most transformative technology of our time because they are afraid of falling behind. It's a lot to process. Britain is standing on its own, for better or worse, trying to build a new architecture for money and power. We are seeing a move toward transparency over restriction and growth over caution. But as any builder will tell you, if the foundation is built on a silken thread of high taxes and ignored rights, the whole structure might be more fragile than it looks. To wrap it up, remember that the UK is currently winning the growth race against its neighbours, but at a cost of higher taxes and a gamble on AI. London is still the hub, but it's a hub in a world that's growing more divided by the day. Thank you for staying with me until the end. I hope this gives you a clearer picture of the patterns beneath the noise. If you appreciated this analysis, please like, subscribe, and consider supporting us with a super thanks. It's your support that keeps this independent voice alive. Until next time. I hope this look into the shifting architecture of British finance has given you something real to think about, something far beyond the usual surface-level noise. Finding the truth, the kind of truth that is not bought or polished by a corporate media machine, takes a staggering amount of work. It involves hours spent in the archives, days verifying data, and a relentless commitment to fact-checking just to make sure we are not feeding the beast of misinformation or fake news. This is a partnership, you and I, and if you value this independent path we are walking together, I would be truly honored if you would like the video and subscribe to the channel. It tells the algorithms that substance still matters. If you are in a position to do so, please consider becoming a sponsor or using the Super Thanks feature. It is a direct way to support the deep research and the long nights that go into avoiding the noise, ensuring we keep the quality of this content high. Your support is what keeps this light on and ensures this channel remains an independent, high-quality voice. Please leave a comment and share your thoughts, because I read them, and they genuinely matter to the direction of what we do here. Thank you for being part of this community and for valuing the truth as much as I do. It means everything to have you here.